What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Good morning. Happy Thursday, 5th of October. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. If you are new, welcome to the morning view. Another week coming fast at Manchester United. Last week, well, coming towards the end of the week before the international break. And loads coming out with Eric Ten Hag. Loads coming out about what's going on in the squad, of course, in the aftermath of back-to-back defeats this week. It's been a crap week. We've all felt really down. But the show goes on. You know what I mean? We've got another game against Brentford coming up. The build up to that kind of starts now, I suppose. You know, you start getting maybe some early team news. Obviously, press conference tomorrow, game Saturday, 3 o'clock. So they're all coming pretty quickly. And we thought that would be a good thing, that everything comes quite quickly. We can be building some momentum. We're supposed to be on probably our fourth win by now in this little period, or fourth, it would have been. It was Burnley, then Palace, then Galatasaray. We expected to win all four of them home games. Three of them home games and one away, and we haven't done so. So, yeah, we would have expected some nice momentum by now, but we haven't got it. So we got to talk about a lot of stuff. I just want to big up really quickly, actually. Big up to everyone in the chat before Owen says his pleasantries and his good mornings. I just want to big up to everybody who has been calling into the full-time view. I had a really long drive from Manchester straight into London Bridge yesterday. So I thought I would just, listen to it in its entirety. Obviously, things aren't good right now, but the amount of people calling in, the stuff that you guys had to say, the community that we've built, although it is absolutely crap right now, from the football inside, I was very proud to just see everyone calling in from around the world, regulars, people who've never been on before. It's a really, really good show. And those of you who are just watching as well, because I was just watching as a viewer. You don't have to call in, just if you want to hear like-minded fans or hear what other people had to say. I was listening like, I think that as well. Or, yeah, good point. Didn't think about that. Like someone said in there, therapy view. Lux Hill, big up Lux Hill. You're one of the people who call in, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, you spoke really well. Exactly, therapy view. Maybe we should call that not the full-time view. Maybe call it therapy view. Full-time therapy. We should change the name of that show.
Full-time therapy.
Yeah, but big up to Owen, and you guys make it really easy for him. But it's really good to see you guys calling in. And if you don't know how to, and you're thinking, what's going on? What's that? Remember, exclusive members perks, as a lot of other things, like UV Raws and exclusive badges, priority members chat, etc., etc. You get to call in live on a match day from wherever you are in the world and have your say. So, it was a really good show. So big up to everyone who took part in that.
Yes, indeed. And it's very seamless as well, because you go straight from the match view, you get directed straight into the full-time view, and then you can call in straight away. You don't have to go anywhere, Flex. Your match day is literally sorted for what is that? Like 4 hours, basically.
Yeah.
It's all sorted, all in one place. You don't have to go anywhere. It's perfect.
And hopefully you get a win soon, where people can ring in and say how good this player was.
Yeah, we've had quite a few since we started doing the full-time view. We've had a lot of losses, got a lot of defeats. FA Cup final, start of the season.
So what you're saying is you're the judge. You've started a new show hosted by yourself, where everyone can call in.
More
losses than wins.
It was me who started this show on your channel, Flex. Don't even start that one. Look at him trying to shift the blame straight away. By the way, also, speaking of the channel in general, I don't know if you've seen in the top right-hand corner, Flex, that number. 9 away. That's possible. That's doable this morning.
That's doable in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah. If you haven't already, subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and turn that number in the top right-hand corner into 155,000 subscribers.
That's insane. I never thought, and this might sound a bit defeatist, but I'll just be honest. We have got a show, I promise you. Yeah. I never thought that United View would have 155,000 subscribers. I just didn't think it, because I didn't think a lot in that period. I just went with it. A bit scared, a bit nervous, didn't know how it was going to turn out. But I never thought 155 after this. I just don't, because I don't set numbers and targets. Some people say you should. I'm just not great at doing that. Amazing. So, that'll be really good to see. Very, very soon. 6 away. What are we going to be talking about today? Mentality issues. Eric Ten Hag's got concerns over the squad. about the mentality of it. We've spoken so much about mental fragility in this squad. Season not over as well. There's been some reports sort of, out of internally from Manchester United that they still feel there's a lot to fight for. There's 4 trophies still available. 4. Ten Hag has credit in the bank, and his position is secure as well, and everything else in between. Let's start off with the mentality issues, Owen.
Yes.
Where is this coming from?
This comes from Rob Dawson from ESPN. And to be honest, it's one of those ones it's one of those reports that when they come out, you go, well, yeah. Yeah, of course, you can tell. Nevertheless, Rob Dawson has said that sources close to Erik ten Hag have said that he doesn't feel he can be as harsh in his criticism of the Manchester United players as he'd like, because there are concerns about the mental fragility of the squad. Erik ten Hag has raised the issue of having the right body language and setbacks happen in games, and is increasingly frustrated that his message isn't getting through to particular members of the Manchester United squad. Now, you could say, Flex, that last little bit there, saying particular members of the United squad, then leads people to discuss which members of the Manchester United squad. But as I mentioned, it's not really you don't need a reporter to say, oh, he's concerned about the mental fragility of some of the players, because you see it. You see it every match day, don't you? You see it when we go 1-0 down, or even when we go 1-0 up. We can concede straight away, or something bad happens in the game, whether it's like against Bayern, you get back in the game and you concede a penalty, or you get a player sent off, or something where you get a goal that you think you've got back into the game, and it's ruled out for VAR, or it's ruled out because it's offside against Arsenal, it's ruled out because it went out of play against Brighton. And the annoying thing is, for me, looking at that, is that setbacks happen. A football game is not linear in terms of you just dominate the game, go all the way through, nothing happens, you win the game, you get to the end of it, and you go, oh, lovely, no real fight back. When we beat Palace in the Carabao Cup, that's not really a normal football match.
No, everything just went right. You score,
everything goes
you score
right
again.
Yeah, no
the
problem.
other team's not pressing. There's no contentious decisions. Exactly that.
Exactly. In football matches, it's like stuff happens. Negative stuff
City
happens
last
to
night.
you. Yeah, you'll go 1-0 down. You'll have a goal ruled out. There'll be a penalty against you, whatever it may be. And it's true, because as a fan, when, like I said, we do go 1-0 down, even as a fan, you think, here we go. And I always say, if we're thinking that, what must the players be thinking? But at the same time, you look at the players that are on the pitch, they're players that should know better. This isn't inexperience. They're players that have been around a while. I mentioned it about the Champions League game on Tuesday. Was it like 5 of those players that have played in the Champions League final in that competition? You've got Onana, you've got Varane, you've got Casemiro, you've got Mount, you've got Eriksen. They've all been in finals for various clubs, not United, but they've been for various clubs. So you say, surely you know, but surely you've got that more character.
They get what the Champions League's about.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe the report isn't referencing that. Maybe they're referencing players that haven't actually achieved all that much. Maybe that's what they're referring to. But how do you think ten Hag can overcome that? Do you think he can? Do you think he can, in that case, teach an old dog new tricks, if that's their mentality?
Maybe not teach an old dog new tricks, but like I say, these things are quite complex, right? But essentially, they're quite simple, because when you win games, it makes these things easier. Players, and it shouldn't be like this, but this is just how I see it, right? Players will respond better to what you're saying and buying into, and adversity, if there's W's. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, it's on them. Like the reason we're not winning. Yeah, okay, the manager this, and the playing style, has he done this, has he done that? But I do agree with, like, one of my biggest frustrations of where we are right now is that we've been in games, maybe not so much the Palace game that we lost at home, but a lot of the games we've been in good positions to be able to have a good performance, or go on to win the game, or stay in the game, or not be on the wrong end of it. We have little foundations, but it's in phases all the time, small phases, small pockets. Winning against Galatasaray was the perfect example to sum Man United up in a complete nutshell. If someone said, I haven't seen Man United for a year, 18 months, I want to see what the latest is, can you show me? I said, I tell you what, say I knew what was going to happen. I said, there's going to be a game against Galatasaray, and for 90 minutes, I'll be able to show you exactly what Man United are in their entirety. And that showed it. It showed us the good, the bad, and ugly all in one game. And that's the problem that we're having. We're seeing every side of us in the game, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that can't happen. The ugly side should rarely be seen. The bad side should rarely be seen. And the good side, obviously, is the one that you want to see the most. But we keep seeing in equal sort of metrics. Do you know what I mean? Like quite equal good, quite equal bad, and quite equal ugly. Do you know what I mean? That those types of percentages need to change, because we're seeing good where, like, in 20 minutes we're saying, well, we're playing okay. This is fine. We're creating chances. We're keeping the ball well. We haven't scored yet. And actually, we have scored, actually. Well done. That's fit. That was 17 minutes of good play, was it not? The first 17 minutes against Galatasaray was good. And we scored.
17. It's always good 17
minutes. That's what I'm saying. Though. So that's why I'm breaking up the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, Hoyland in the first 3 minutes breezes past Bowie, right? And you're like, bloody hell, crosses it. Bruno should do better. Crowds up. Well done, well done. You know, some good interchanges of play, a couple of balls in behind, getting a couple corners. We looked okay. Then the goal comes, ball over the top, Rashford, fire it across, Hoyland, striker's goal. We're up. Well done. 3 minutes later, the ball's in the back of the net till half time. And then we didn't play very well. Then we come out of half time and play really well. Eriksen, I thought in the first 15, 20 minutes that he was on for, even though it was eye-raising why he came on for Hannibal, he was actually very, very good. That pass he plays for Rashford first time round the corner as well. Nobody does that. Maybe Bruno if he's on form. Nobody does that for us, right? Rashford's in, doesn't score. Hoyland gets the ball off Mason Mount, scores, offside. But I felt like we're going to score. We're going to score. We're doing everything right. Then we do score. So again, that's another 15, 20 minutes of the good. Well done. Immediately after, and I mean immediately after, we see the bad. Onana comes flapping at the cross. I think it goes to Artukoglu, and he puts it wide. Panic stations. And then we see the ugly. then we just see the ugly. So, Ten Hag, the players aren't buying in because they are making mistakes, not Erik Ten Hag. In these moments, they are the ones making the mistakes. They don't know how to deal with it. So they're looking for someone to blame.
But it's also, it's something that's kind of predated Ten Hag, though, really, hasn't it? This sort of mentality issue. And this is why I think it's funny that people talk about, they go, why doesn't he criticize? Why, when he comes out in the press conference afterwards, why doesn't he criticize people? Why doesn't he say things? Why isn't he going on the players? Because he doesn't think he can. Because not only think he can, he goes, how productive is this? I could come out and I could say, this player's playing rubbish, that player's not good enough, this, that, and the other. Look, first of all, when he did, and not even that much, he was asked why he didn't pick him. Social media went into an effing meltdown about throwing players under the bus and what have you. So he's gone, I'm not doing that again. And then two, he's looking at certain players going, they can't take it. And he's been proved right that they can't take it. He's not speaking to one of them at the moment because he couldn't take it, you know. And that's when, I guess maybe that's the modern footballer as well. Right, you know, back in the day, there's that David Beckham documentary out at the moment. I've seen clips of. I've got to watch it in full later on. Yeah, I need to watch that today. Yeah. But back in David Beckham's day with Roy Keane in the dressing room and what have you, you could scream and shout at the players, and you could go out in press conferences and say whatever, and it's deal with it. You know, nowadays it's a bit more like, I don't really like what you said about me, or the agent will call you up. Really sure that's best for so-and-so, or maybe they'll leave, or, you know, you get a call from the director of football going, they're a big asset, you know, let's not, you know, they just signed a new contract, you know, all that kind of stuff, you know, all that kind of stuff happens. And maybe Ten Hag feels like, well, I've gone down the route of, you know, publicly naming and shaming. That's not worked. And now, particularly in this time, and this is when it is, you know, the balancing act of being a manager, isn't it? Because now he's going, I want to really lay into some of these players at the moment, but because the confidence is so shaky at the moment, is that the best for me to do? It's, you know, it's easier. It's almost easier to criticize a team like you said, is almost playing well, and it has a bit of momentum because you can go, look, that's not what you're not like that usually. Up your standards. When you're rock bottom and you start screaming and shouting, does it even work? Does it even work at that point?
It depends on what sort of players you've got. It usually only works, right? That only usually works if you have a dressing room full of winners. That only usually works if you have players who have come through adversity and gone on to do stuff. You have to have mentally strong players and players that, let's be honest, 100% buy into you and trust you because they've been down this road before, and the evidence shows them when you do that, you're doing it with their best interest at heart. You're doing it because you know that, if we do listen, if we do apply ourselves XYZ, how the manager is doing it, and it's not personal what he's saying, it's just a kick up the backside to get back to what we know we can do, it will work. Now, if anything, because you could be listening to this saying, yeah, but hang on a minute, he's the manager, he should be able to cuss out all these players. Essentially, this is a damning indictment of our players. This is what we're saying. This shows the mentality within the squad. But I won't let Eric Ten Hag completely off the hook, because some of the mentality blockages we're seeing are from some of the people he's bought. Some of the people he's bought, that the team is slowly changing around to where the spine of the team is his, nearly. You got Højlund at the top. He's showing great mentality, to be fair to him. You got Mason Mount in there. To be fair, he's doing all right. He's not coming under that much criticism. At the back, okay, it was Leacher, but he's not there now, so none of his buys are there. And the biggest one is Andre Onana. You talk about mentality, you talk about fragility. My God. And of course, Eric's going to back him. It's his guy. It's 10 games into the season, and he's had an absolute shocker for 10 games. Let's be honest. He's not had one good game, if I'm being honest with you. He's had some times where he's been okay. He's made saves that he should absolutely make, that if they go in, we would have been absolutely... He hasn't done one save where we're like, bloody got top save. He hasn't.
No, it's like it was that Wolves game before he did the thing that could have...
He was actually doing all right.
He was all right that game. He was doing okay.
Capturing crosses. He was,
he made a couple of decent saves
on the ball. Made a good save from Willy Bolly.
Yeah.
Again, though, but we can't gas that up and say it was an outstanding. And then obviously the penalty thing happened. But even if the penalty thing didn't happen, I would have left there saying that was sound. That he did things I expect my keeper to do. Not out of this world. No. He was just okay. Now we're seeing distribution. We're seeing 56% passing accuracy, which it was against Galatasaray, which is shocking. We're seeing him literally give the ball to the opposition, which got our man sent off. And we're seeing him just look off with his whole lead up to a goal scoring situation. Like the opposition can score, but never have I felt so much like as soon as they score, I need to look at what Onana just did. Could he have done better? I just feel like that with almost every goal, that I need to look back and just look at his movements. And even if, and you lot step in here if you think I'm wrong, or tell me what you think, because I don't want to overreact, because I've backed Onana, I have. But I'm just being honest with what I'm currently seeing. Even if he's nowhere near it, right? Like he couldn't save it. I just look at what he did do, though. And he just falls, or
it
just looks
analogy.
off.
This was my analogy with it, is we are still having the same conversations now that we were having at the end of the season, whereby when every goal goes in, the first question is, what's the keeper doing there? You know what I mean? Like when we were conceding goals last season, people going, is that De Gea? Is that De Gea's fault? It's the same now. When goal goes, we go, is that Onana? For instance, first goal against Galatasaray, KG, and I spoke to KG yesterday on the phone, and he was saying that he was, I was way too harsh with Onana for the first goal. But he said, but I think that's a reaction to where we are with that position at the moment. When a goal goes in, immediately you go, should he be doing better? Should he be doing better? And then you look back and you go, nah, Dallo should do a lot better. Gets a deflection, bounces over him. But your initial reaction straight away is, what's going on? Is that another mistake? What's happening there? And to your point now, I mean, I think about Galatasaray and the Palace game as well. Not that I can think off the top of my head. It's not even like the first couple of games of the season whereby some of the passes from Onana, you went, that's a brilliant pass. Oh, unbelievable. I remember he did one against Spurs. He passed Wan-Bissaka and you went, brilliant. That's an unbelievable pass. But like now, it feels like even that's not really happening. It's just going along. And maybe that's a confidence thing too. I mean, but I do emphasize your point too. And this isn't what this is this morning, is that it's not saying that this is 100% totally, completely on the players. I think the majority of it is. I think the majority of it is their mentality, and a majority of it is individual errors that Ten Hag can't compensate for. But ultimately, you still do pick the players, and you still do pick certain players that at the moment they're not helping you. And as a Man United manager, you can talk about individual errors and you can talk about mistakes. If your team keeps losing, it's always going to be you that ends up going, not the players.
He's going to have to change something. But like
he's got to win. He's got to win football matches.
He's got to win football matches. But and again, please hear me out on this, guys. This is not how I think it should be. It's just how I believe it is. Yeah, the reality of being in the situation that Ten Hag's in. He doesn't want to take on Rashford and Bruno right now. I think he feels that's a dangerous, because look how he is taking on Rashford. If we you alluded to it yesterday, Owen, as well. He's taking him off progressively earlier. That is a sign. That is a sign of a different technique to start reprimanding Rashford for poor form before it builds up eventually to he doesn't start. Because again, we all can see it. He shouldn't start. We can see that. Rip him out. Show him that he needs to sit on the bench and hold that. Come back with your head screwed on and hit some form. Bruno, we can see he's not playing well at all. Rip him out. Just go Hannibal, bloody Mount and Casemiro, and just put Palestri on the right, or put Mount on the right and put Hannibal, Eriksen, Casemiro, whatever it is you want to do. Yeah. But he's going, okay, Rashford and Bruno are my biggest players. Yeah. They're the head honchos, whether we like it or not. Within Carrington, the stature at the football club, they are the head honchos. It shouldn't be like this. I know people are going to say, oh, but this is the problem. This is the problem, but I'm just saying this how it is. So he's saying, I've got a massive, huge decision that I need to make sure I am absolutely sure, because once I go down that road of basically saying, it's you two, you're holding us back right now. You're a big part of holding us back. Once I do that, it 1,000,000% has to pay off, because in an ideal world, you take them out, they see what they've been doing wrong, and they go, don't worry, boss, whenever you need me, I'm going to be back there and I'm going to prove you wrong. But in reality, Ten Hag knows that's not what's going to happen. If he drops Rashford, I guarantee Rashford would sulk. I think when he comes off the bench, it just
what does that say?
What does that say? Absolutely. And that's my point. It's more a damning indictment that the manager is worried about attacking the two highest profile players at the club. The Sancho one, right? I feel like Sancho's never really hit it off for him. So he's a bit indifferent. So to be honest, he probably acted emotionally after the Arsenal game. Because if we would have won that game and they asked him, where was he probably would have said the thing he said the other week, where he said, I'm not going to talk about players who aren't here. He might have said that. He might have said that. But he's given up on Sancho. He doesn't care. He's like, I ain't protecting you anymore. I didn't pick him because he didn't train properly. Then obviously Sancho's gone one further. So he's won that battle. Well, he believes he's won that battle because he's like, whatever. You're never going to play for me again. You ain't going to say sorry. Sancho thinks he's won because he either thinks he's going to outlast Ten Hag or he's going to get to go in January. Sancho don't care, right? Otherwise, he would have said sorry by now. So he doesn't want to go for the other two massive players and risk basically losing it all. Because if he brings in Garnacho, yeah, and if he brings in Hannibal, yeah, or whoever it is, Eriksen for Bruno, or whatever changes he makes for them to, and it don't work, all of a sudden you've got Bruno and Rashi are going to say, and you tried to throw me under the bus, and we're still not winning. So what is it then? That's how the dynamic works.
Yeah,
behind the scenes,
it's difficult. It's difficult for him because these are key decisions that he has made that ultimately are backfiring for him now. He made the decision to let go De Gea, whether you believe that's the right decision or not, cool. But then he also made the decision to bring in his guy in Andre Onana. Thus far, it's not working out too great. Time will still tell, though. It's only 10 matches. He made the decision to take the captaincy of Harry Maguire. I think everyone says that's the right call. He made the decision to make Bruno Fernandes the captain. What he didn't anticipate was then Bruno wouldn't be in his best form, but it makes it difficult to drop him because he's Bruno the captain.
Exactly,
Marcus Rashford, star player last season, best individual season of his career, gets a new contract, but now his form's dropped off massively. Makes it difficult to drop him, but you've got to do that. So you got three big decisions there to do, but ultimately your job's on the line. So you got to make those tough decisions. And also when it comes to the Sancho stuff, and I noticed this with Anthony too. Yeah, I mentioned this a few weeks ago. us fans, we've got to stop with this revisionist history bullshit because it's getting ridiculous. Some people are like, bring Sancho back in and he'd fix all of this. What evidence is there based on what he's done for his United career? Like if James Sancho played on Tuesday, would we have seen any massive difference? Really? Based on what we've seen for his career? I'm not saying he's terrible, he's rubbish. I'm just saying he was not in the most amazing form. He had a half-decent preseason. Fair enough. Okay. In not even in that position. And then but people were saying with Anthony, they were like, oh, good that now Anthony's back on the right-hand side, like as if we're going to start like rapping in goals and stuff like that. It's like, well, a couple of weeks ago, prior to all of that stuff happening, people were still saying how shit he was. Yeah, and now it's like, he's great. Now he's back. It's like, we've got to stop doing it. It's the same with the managers. Ole got a Solskjaer. It was good under Ole. Sorry? Did we forget how it ended with Ole got a Solskjaer? Or they go, yeah, under Jose, this wasn't happening. What? When like the toxic dressing room that everyone said, oh, it's good that he's gone. Or under Louis van Gaal, he was treated badly. Fair enough, he won the FA Cup in his final season, don't get me wrong. But I was a season ticket holder in his second season, yeah, Flex. And I remember over Christmas where we didn't win a game in like 6 or something like that. And it was terrible. Everyone's going, oh, style of football's rubbish. And they were rejoicing bringing Mourinho in. So we got to stop doing this. Like, again, we just sort of manipulate and change history like it didn't happen. And it's just, we got to stop doing that because I see it all the time. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you go back to it because you're looking for an answer. Let's get to the super chats, quite a few. Aminor says, Flex, why did we not go for David Raya? Onana worries me. Yeah, I know. I know, it's easy to say that now. We've had 10 games of Onana and we're not convinced. I mean, David Raya, yeah, he kicked it out the other day and then they scored from it. But probably would be a bit more cultured than Onana at this point. But yeah, why didn't we go for him? Especially with a 3 million loan and then an option to buy. Lil Yo-Yo says, sometimes we laugh and sometimes we cry, but I guess now. Sometimes we laugh. Drake song, Owen, Drake song. Manager should be questioned. Drake's new album's coming out tomorrow. Not that that means anything to Owen. Manager should be questioned, but these questions are a bunch of pansies. Poor. Ray Carl Brown says, you are spot on, Flex. The mentality of the players have let us down for years. They don't know how to keep leads or come back. We should never lose that game, lose the last game. They gave up before the game is done. Show Rahman been a member, I'm pretty sure Show Rahman, but Show has been a member for 12 months. Says KG is the new jinx. It's not Flex. KG was the one who made up the Onana song. Since then, also KG on the Gala stream dissing Arsenal. Galatasaray stream dissing Arsenal a minute later.
Well, and every time he leaves the country, by the way, as well. We build up a bit of momentum, we win matches, and then he decides to leave the country and we lose. I mean, just
exactly. Kristen says on the Onana distribution, as we in not seeing the long ball from him, is that caused by the outfield players not making any spaces? Bit of everything. Sometimes he's what he is doing is going long to Højlund, to be fair to him in those moments, and he's giving him a chance to be able to win it, like a flick on, and then we play off the seconds, which I don't mind. Not everything has to be, not every kick from the keeper can be a pass. Like, let's not move away from what a goalkeeper is. Like, they do a lot of clearances or putting it into a good area where if you lose the first ball, you can pick up the second. I'm not saying he has to have 100% pass accuracy, even when he lumps it forward because he's getting pressured and has to kick it. I mean, the keeper's never going to have 100.
You don't want to overplay. You don't want to overplay. Look at PSG last night. Look at them playing for the back last night. They were a complete mess. I mean, they actually reminded me of Man United last night. I thought that was maybe worse. Maybe the split of Man United defensively. Awful, trying to
giving
play
away
the back,
ball,
not running, didn't care.
And that's what a bit of pressure does to you. Newcastle were running around like absolute lunatics. Great shape, basically like a 4-5-1. Everyone behind the ball. Isak up top there, and then they had like a bank of 5. They doubled up on absolutely everyone. That is how you make up for individuals who may not be as good as their individual counterparts, but as a team. You are way better.
That's what you forget, isn't it? Because that's what it's about. It's not about individuals. It's about team. Because that PSG team on paper should destroy that Newcastle team.
Them. And that's a new look PSG that ain't even that great. But like you said, on paper.
And that's what's like United. That's what's like United. Look at that team. Look at that team against Galatasaray. You go, that team should win that easily. Look at those players. But, it doesn't work like that.
Aminor says, if Klopp can take Salah off, why can't Erik ten Hag now with Rashi? Absolutely. Again, it's an indictment of the player's mentality. He's worried that he'll lose him in a bad bit. But again, like I said, players won't question Klopp. There is no one at that football club that will question Jurgen Klopp. Why? Because he's been supported, he's been backed, and he has a sample size that the players know whatever decision he makes, even if I'm pissed off, Salah comes off ripping off his bloody his wrist supports and shit and throwing it and pissed off. But he knows it's for the good of the team. And he knows he'll be either back in next game or very, very soon. And when he is back in, he's going to make sure he ain't getting taken off again. Do you know what I mean?
It's like the Sir Alex thing. It's like the Sir Alex thing. There's just a general knowledge that if push comes to shove, if it's me or him, it's always going to be me. You know what I mean? This guy ain't going anywhere. You know what I mean? When it comes to manager, if Sir Alex fell out with a player, they went, right, I guess I'm leaving because Sir Alex ain't leaving. It's like with Pep at City. If Pep falls out with someone, well, I guess I'm off then because I'm not going because the Pep's not going anywhere. They're not going to get rid of Pep. Same with Klopp, And that's even last season when Liverpool were struggling last season. You're not going anywhere. So the players are going to go. And it's just got that kind of acknowledgement. And I still think at United, maybe with some players, they go, we'll see. We'll see how long this guy lasts. Because that's kind of the feeling at the moment.
United Kev Brady says, hi, lads, refreshing our fan base. The majority supporting our manager going through a rough time. Erik ten Hag should give the younger players more minutes. Hungry, less battle scared. Hannibal, a perfect example. Yeah, a lot of people are behind Erik ten Hag. It is good to see that. Obviously, it depends on your opinion. Some people have different opinions. But I do think there's a big majority, personally, that I think on TalkSport, they asked me to put a number on it. I think I went like a loud minority of like between 20 and 30%. And maybe like, nah, Ten Hag's not the guy. But I feel like there's a good 70, 80% that are like, listen, we have to there's no point sacking him. What's going to change? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Daniel Luciano says, even his saves don't really convince me. Big up. Yeah, Daniel, that's what I mean. Like, even when he does save it, he does like the one where it hits his body or he just shoulder fling.
Yeah.
If you watch Dancer, he just flings.
Who was it against? It was either Palace when we won, or it might have been Burnley away. I can't remember which one it was, but there was one which it was like a header, and he pushed out, and you sort of went, I didn't think you were going to save that, and it wasn't
that was the Burnley one, isn't it? And then didn't he come out, be brave? Oh no, the Burnley one had a header in the first half.
Yeah, it was like a square. It was a shocker.
Yeah,
it was a square. It was a square across the box, and it just bounced before him, and he sort of pushed it to one side. He went, "Good save," but he went, I didn't think you were going to save that one.
Yeah, exactly. Then he had the one where he come flying out for it, was brave, but then pushed it into a dangerous area, and then Johnny Evans came over against Burnley and put his body on the line, and then
like you said, every goalkeeper's got their staples. David De Gea was his feet. Andre Onana seemingly is his chest. Or his shoulder, you know what I mean? That one, like you said, like that. You go, okay.
Yeah. I just hope he rectifies it. Chalaboy comment says, I just want to say Erik ten Hag overperformed. Liverpool at home. I flew from the US to get there, and I've never felt so good. Least we forget, Erik ten Hag is magic. We all feel it. We all owe it to him to stick by him. And it is weird that, where are we now? We're in October. In May / June, because when was the Champions League, FA Cup final? Like June the 4th? It was late, wasn't it?
Beginning of June, yeah.
Yeah. So in June, right, we were all lauding Erik ten Hag, weren't we?
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 months ago, wow, we're so lucky. Look how he's dealt with everything. He's done so well. And 10 games into the new season, he's not it. No, he's got to go. He's got to go. And I just think, I do understand all of the frustrations. I got them too. Look at what I'm saying about our players. Look at some of the criticism I've given Ten Hag. He does have things to change. He's got big decisions to get right. I can't see the plan sometimes. But sacking him right now, what on earth would we do?
My worry is about the players. My worry is about that Liverpool game. I think is a really good example of that was the time which you could tell that Erik ten Hag and his staff, his team had inspired the players. Right? They weren't running in the few games before that, but he had run them on the hottest day of the year, and they then covered so much more distance than a Liverpool side, which is almost unheard of, with how much distance they cover in the game. And he had inspired this work rate. He had inspired the players. They were high-fiving, fist-bumping, all that kind of stuff. And we went, look at that. He's proper galvanized these group of players. And you don't see that. You just don't. You don't feel that kind of like tenaciousness in the team at the moment. But again, my worry is that have the players do the players not get inspired by him anymore? As have incidents happened, whether it be Sancho, whether it be whatever it may be, and have they gone, oh, I don't know, I don't like him anymore, or do they not buy into what he's telling them? And that's my worry, because I don't blame Ten Hag for that. I blame the players, but that's my concern, because they don't look like an inspired bunch, do they? When you watch them, they don't look like an inspired team when you watch them. You don't look and go, oh, I'll tell you what, they look up for it. Well, when was the last time United go, oh, they look really up for it today? You don't see that.
Chalaboy says, I read that one. Lil Yo-Yo says, typo on my last one, the players of Pansies. Ahmed says, big up Yo-Yo. Ahmed says, Sane questioned Klopp. Mane, yeah, must be Mane. Yeah, Mane questioned Klopp and got shipped off. Chalaboy comments, if we are objective, this man has coached so many victories that mental fragility has cost us. But let's not forget what it used to be. Changing managers is not the answers. It's not the answer. So we have to be supportive. Ahmed says Mane. There you go. And Divas says the revision. Garnacho started 3 games start of the season. He was bad, but people are like, drop Rashford for him. He has 1 good game against Palace B team. And, look, I get it. I do get that. Like you said, if you're going to hang your hat on Garnacho coming and doing it, I know we can be like, is it much worse than Rashi? But if he does it, when we've all said the kid's not ready, but I know you've got to give him a chance. But if it doesn't work out, then you're going to take him out again. Then you've pissed off Garnacho, and now you've pissed off Rashi. It's a big gamble today.
Yeah, but just do it, though.
Yeah, he's got to try something.
Just do it. Because at this point, don't get me wrong. Garnacho, when he was right, we started the first few games of the season, wasn't great. Ten Hag said it himself, but then he took him out the side and he brought him back in and he played well. He got a reaction from him, and you would say, well, if it works for Garnacho, why can't it work for Marcus Rashford? Take him out the side so you're not playing well. Another guy's going to come in, and if Garnacho doesn't play well, you bring Rashford on. You say to him, right, let's see the real Marcus Rashford. Prove yourself so you don't get dropped again. I mean, that's football. That's how football works, And Garnacho at the moment looks like he's in better form as well, because again, he played well against Palace, and also when he's come on since then, he's looked threatening. He's looked dangerous. He was really unlucky not to score against Galatasaray with a great block by the Galatasaray defender. And also, as we said before about the Newcastle thing last night, what's better for the team? What's better for the team at the moment? How, if Garnacho's on, is he going to try and find Rasmus Højlund more in the box? And also, what's his work rate going to be like off the ball? Is his work rate off the ball going to be better than Rashford? And I think at the moment it would. I don't think it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for Marcus Rashford to hold the bench for a little while. And if it does, and if he does, for a big wobbly, I'm Marcus Rashford, I can't be taken out the side. Nobody's bigger than the team. I don't think he can do it. This was my point anyway. I don't think he can do it with all 3 of those players we spoke about earlier on, Rashford, Bruno, Onana. I think the most likely one would be Marcus Rashford, because 1, dropping your goalkeeper is a big statement, and 2, dropping your captain's a massive statement. Almost dropping the player that played well last season but isn't playing well this season, people can kind of go, wow, that one's you can get away with that one from a manager's point of view. And you want to talk about mentality and fragility and getting messages across to the players. If you do drop Marcus Rashford, maybe you say to your players, look, actually, nobody's big enough that they're not going to get dropped. This individual mistakes or this not performing stuff, not good enough. I'll drop you. And maybe that's the line he does need to take. Send a bit of a message.
Yeah. MWK360 says, hashtag Ten Hag out. I don't believe in anything he brings. Sack him sooner. So we don't waste more money on him in January. He is now a loser without principles. Strong words from MWK. Doesn't agree with that Ten Hag's going to be the right guy. Save the Jungle says the pressure on the players is way too harsh, and a manager should try and counter that rather than add in more. Well, that's what that's what we're saying. When we're talking about these mentality issues, and Erik Ten Hag's aware of body language to do this and to do that, he's basically saying, like, these lot are too soft. I need to find a different way to get this out of them, because they're making massive mistakes during the games. From all of the stuff we've been talking about, Owen, hang on a minute. Yeah, I have read that one. From all of the stuff we've been talking about, another bit of news was that the season's not over, and Manchester United feel that, there's still a lot to play for. It's been a horrible start. However, they think we can get through this period. Let's talk about a little bit of positivity, mate. Well, let's talk about what that means. Let's talk about, let's explore that.
Yeah. So Chris
and
Wheeler
just before
said,
you do that, sorry. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Where are we now? We are still at 5 away, 6 away. Oh no, we did it.
Yeah, but I don't like saying it when it's on 0.
Oh yeah, because now they're gonna. Yeah,
no, you've jinxed it, Flex. The
Someone's
judge is
gonna
back.
do that.
The judge is back.
Well, it's not judge. It's just reminding people so that they just press it.
Wow.
So all right, we'll wait till it's a little bit over. But,
yeah. Chris Wheeler from the Daily Mail said that sources insist that Manchester United's season has not been written off, with 3/4 of the campaign to go and still 4 trophies to play for. 4 trophies to play for. Eric Ten Hag also has a lot of credit in the bank at Manchester United after his team finished 3rd last season and lifted the Carabao Cup. Quote, "They haven't become bad overnight," said one insider yesterday. The club also respect the fact he's not gone looking for excuses, even though 16 players have been ruled out at various times through injury since pre-season. So they're saying that is still a lot to play for. And also that quote, "They haven't become bad overnight," I do agree with, because they haven't been very good for like 6 months. So that hasn't happened overnight. It's been a longer period than that. But is the season not over? It's not over yet, obviously.
No, it's not.
You're still in competitions. You're still in Carabao Cups and an FA Cup.
I think the feeling is that it's not. I mean, you can look at how we're playing and go, the season's over, because you basically can't see how we get out of this rut. So basically, you're anticipating more of the same, which eventually, if there's more of the same until for another month or so, maybe not even that, the season can be over. If we lose against Brentford, if we lose against Sheffield United, if we don't beat Copenhagen, is the season pretty much over, isn't it, really? If we don't beat Copenhagen, we ain't getting out of the group instantly. If we draw against them or lose against them at home, we're definitely not getting out of the group. It's finished. If we win, doesn't even mean we definitely are getting out of the group. It's just, well done, you finally won a game in the group. You then have to follow that up again with a win at Copenhagen. If you don't win at Copenhagen, you ain't getting out of the group. So you
can't lose another Champions League match. That's where we're at the moment.
Which
we
is
say
insane.
10 points. We say 10 points gets you through. We're saying beat Copenhagen away at home, beat Copenhagen away, then either beat Galatasaray away or get a point, and then beat Bayern at home, most likely. Yeah, that's what we're saying. And we're saying not lose. You can't lose.
But depending on all the 6, 7, 8 might be enough if there's a draw between one of the others. But
historically, probably
not. Historically. So even now, as you look at it, right? If I was to say to you, we have to, like you just said, we have to beat Galatasaray or Bayern. Are you confident in that? Because I'm not.
I said to you on the phone the other day,
even
my
a
only
Bayern team.
Yes, because that would be my only hope. That by that point, Bayern, they're through. It doesn't matter, all that kind of stuff. But that would again be assuming that we've gone away to Galatasaray and got a point. And to be honest, Flex, that's assuming we go away to Copenhagen win the game.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
So the mood is, obviously there's hypotheticals of, technically it's not over yet. There's still loads to fight for. Win the rest of your games in the Champions League, you'll be fine. We can't do that. Yeah, there's a lot to fight for. Yeah, you're a few points off fourth. It's only October. Make sure you beat Brentford. Arsenal are playing City then. Liverpool are playing Brighton. This point, make sure you win against Sheffield United out of the international break. You'll be fast 6 points. Get back to winning ways. You'll be fine. We don't feel like we can do that right now. And that's the problem. The rut doesn't feel like it's going to stop. I have no idea what's going to happen against Burnley. Brentford. I don't think we're going to win. How we're playing right now, I could just see the same old story. We might do all right, score, then concede, so it might be a draw, or do all right, then concede, so we're losing, then we can't score because the confidence is down. And Brentford, who aren't playing very well right now, by the way, just shut up shop. Wissa's running around, he scores, or Mbeumo's been playing shit for a few games. Oh, he goes back to prime Mbeumo. We're capable of doing that. And it sounds so negative because we do have to believe. I get it. But the belief is really hard to do when we're playing like this and you know how fragile we are. For us to win a game right now, everything has to go perfect. Everything has to go perfect. I kind of want us to win a game where it doesn't go perfect so that they prove that they can do it.
That's what I said earlier on. For football games aren't linear. It's not just smooth. You don't just go, yeah, we go 1-0 up very easily, go for it. I mean, you want to get to that point. Most of the time with City, that happens, but not even all the time with City, that doesn't happen. You know, last week at Wolves, they lost. They came, they beat Leipzig last night, but it was 1-1. They scored late on, you know. That's what happens in football matches. There are setbacks. Stuff happens. Decisions don't go your way, and you have to just, you know, react to it. And you have to trust that it doesn't matter. We're still good. We'll score goals. We'll win the game. No problem. We can overcome it. And to be honest, that's not even like, oh, the best sides do that. That's just average sides do that. But if you want to be, you know, considered to be one of the best, you know, then when stuff happens against you, you just overcome it. No problem. That's it. And it's, if we're really saying that we're in a position whereby everything has to go perfect for us to win at home against Brentford, then what kind of position are we in? You know, that's, again, it speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. And I do think that Ten Hag is sort of, you know, sitting there at Carrington, scratching his head going, what do I have to do, like, to get through to these players? Or because a lot of it is like the individual errors. It's like, or we will have, in the same way that we have 20-minute really good spells, we'll have like 5-minute spells where I don't think we'll complete a pass. Like, you know, we'll just give the ball away, or head will go down, or miss chances, and you can feel it. And I was just thinking when you were saying that about the Brentford game at the weekend, what do you think if we went 1-0 down, right? Let's say hypothetically. And I don't want to get those people angry. You're predicting the downfall of United again. How dare you? But if let's say 20 minutes, we play well. We will play well 20 minutes. That will happen. And then set piece, they score. What do you think the reaction is to that?
It's bad. Very, very bad. Old Trafford would be on a knife edge, because Old Trafford would be, here we go again. Everyone knows in the stadium where the state of the team is. Everyone knows watching at home what the state of the team is. The players, they need confidence and not adversity, and that would be adversity. That would be in their minds. Again, for God's sake, how's he made that mistake? Who's marking him? How's that happened? We were just on these. We should have scored a couple of minutes ago, and then they won't come back from it. It'll be, if they score first, it will be like it was against Palace. And with how disjointed the back line is at the moment, I know I saw a piece suggesting that, you know, they might risk Reguilon for this game, depending on how fit he is. I don't know, but I saw it on social media, sort of suggesting that he could play. But like, with how disjointed the back line is and the lack of options there, we're not defending good. We're not defending properly. Like, I can't. There's no, like you said, there's no fist bumps. There's no high fives. There's no, even the makeshift. I want to see a little bit more togetherness. Like, get behind each other. Yeah, we're so low, rock bottom. If we put it out for a throw, a good bit of defending, go over and pat him on the back. Like, we have to. They have to generate, even though it's manufactured. Could be fake energy. They have to do it. They've got.
Yeah,
because there's just nothing there.
Yeah, I do think with the Amrabat thing, and I really sympathise with him, because I saw people saying, you know, why is he playing Amrabat at left back? And you go, well, there ain't a lot of options. But if you do look at two of the goals, the second one where he just gets completely sucked in, and he gives it, and then they're basically through. And then you look at the last goal, the third one. You've got the two centre backs in Varane and Lindelof. They've pushed up, and Amrabat is so far back. He's so far back.
Oh, what's the one where he just headers it?
He plays them all onside, because they're all claiming off. They're all going offside, and you go, mate, Amrabat, you're keeping them all. You're so far deeper than them. And again, for that second one, because it starts off with a throw, I think. And he literally just gets sucked in. They give and go through the middle. They're through. And I look at that.
They do a little dummy. They do a little dummy, don't it? It goes around him.
And I look at him and I go, it's just really shit defending. But then I go, but he's just, a left back wouldn't do that. A left back wouldn't do that. So maybe he's right to risk Reguilon in that instance, because they're saying that Malacia might be back after the international break. So maybe the hope is that, you know, we're going to have a couple of left backs back fairly soon, which will be positive. Or, like people are suggesting, you know, do some rejigging, put Dallo at left back, get Lindelof at right back, get another centre back in there with Varane, maybe Maguire or Evans. because then at least and then maybe don't be insistent on my fullbacks have got to be inverted. Just be like, you know what, for this game, let's
Just
just
be
keep it flat.
normal.
Let's just be
Yeah.
flat. Let's not
Keep the
try and
shape, man.
all that kind of stuff.
Lindelof's not covering himself in glory right now as well. He's not playing well, but it's just fractious across the whole back line. None of them are playing well because they don't know each other. Like Amrabat's not even a left back. He has no relationship with Lindelof or Varane. So they're just freestyling as they go. Varane and Lindelof together can be steady if they've got Luke Shaw that side and Wan-Bissaka the other side, potentially, but it isn't that. Dalot is... don't know what Dallow's doing right now. Just losing duels, not being good enough. I got no words for it really, because I don't see how it improves until better defenders come back. That's the only way. Like, I can't see how we do it. So because we've got those discrepancies at the back, that's why in the moments where we're on top and things like that, we've got to score or not make mistakes in other areas of the pitch that then put extra pressure onto them. And I know it's pathetic because we're now saying we don't want our keeper facing too many shots. That's his job. Do you know what I mean? But we now have a keeper as well who's suspect and can't save a shot. So if if they shoot from distance or just have a little speculative shot, we're in trouble. His confidence is down, and there's no way Ten Hag's going to drop him and put Bayindir in. No way. He won't. He won't do it. Not after that.
That was the weird thing. People going into the game against Galatasaray, and they were like, Bayindir set to make his debut. And I remember saying in the press conference, went, "Oh no, he's not. That's not going to happen in the game. Why? It was an important game. Bayindir's not going to play." And same with the weekend. Andre Onana will start against Brentford. I'd be stunned. Yeah. I'd be absolutely stunned.
I think they'll all start, Owen. I think Rashford will start. I think Bruno will start. I think Onana will start. What do you think the starting team will be?
Onana. The back four, what do I think it will be? Back four will probably be largely the same. Maybe Reguilon's ready by that point. I don't know. But I think the back four will probably be the same. So that's what Dalot, Lindelof, Varane.
Think Maguire could come in for Lindelof?
Possibly. I think Lindelof will still play, though, because he likes Lindelof. So I think the back four will be the same. And like I said, maybe Reguilon's available. Midfield, I think that'd be Casemiro still. It'd be Mason Mount still.
Hannibal again.
Hannibal in there still. I think on the left, it might be Garnacho.
You think?
Yeah. On the right, I guess Bruno.
It's going to be Bruno. Isn't it?
And then up front, it'll be Højlund. Like I said, I don't think there'll be drastic changes. I don't think.
No, I agree. Well, I think the only thing I disagree, I just think Rashford will start again. I think he just goes with the exact same team that started that game the other day. Is that the same team? Yeah. Casemiro, Hannibal, Mount. Yeah, Bruno was on the right. Højlund, Rashford. I think he wants to, and I know he's running out of games to do it. He's technically already run out. But he wants to come out of this period with the good players still intact so that they get confidence and then we can start doing something.
Yeah.
That's essentially what he wants to do. But he's running out of games to do it in. He really is.
That's the problem. Like I said, ultimately, look, I think he's like
wait, Anthony. Sorry, Anthony's back in straight away.
Anthony. Well, then does that mean then Anthony on the
Hannibal
right, Bruno in the 10, Hannibal ain't going to play? That's bullshit.
Hannibal ain't going to play. That would be bullshit. That's what's going to happen. I just remembered about Anthony because he can't wait to get him in. So I think Anthony will start. Hannibal will suffer. Bruno will go back to the 10. Then it'll be Casemiro and Mount as well. And I think Rashford will start. And I think Ten Hag will be like, look, Anthony's back now. We've got a bit of balance on the right. Let's see if Rashi can go now. We've got 2 threats down the side. You know what I mean? Because he'll want to get back to what his normal team was. And that is a step in the direction of what his normal team was.
Well, people say with Bruno, play him through the middle and then he's going to be more effective. And he will. But in recent form, he doesn't deserve to be,
No, but he's captain. There's no way he's not starting. No way he's not starting. Yeah. And do you know what, though? In support of Bruno, because we've got support at some point, I hope he does have a blinder. I hope he does play really well and have a great impact on the game where we didn't even want him to start. But fair play, at least he showed up today. We needed that. Good assist for Højlund. Good goal. Good corner. Good free kick. Good pass. disciplined, much better in the 10. Actually, the balance was a lot better. Anthony was working hard down the right, so he gave us an outlet. He travelled with the ball. Rashi was a lot better. That's what we want to say.
Yeah.
These are our main players. Anthony was 80 million. I want him to come in and be that guy. Rashford scored 30 goals last year. I want him to be that guy. Bruno was the saviour when he came. I want him to be that guy. If you're looking at Rashford, Anthony, Bruno, we should be saying Højlund should be having a feast. But we know what the reality is right now is that he's not. So hopefully we're wrong, Owen. Hopefully we're wrong. Listen, guys, thanks for watching. A couple of super chats here before we leave. Ahmed says, I recommend testosterone replacement therapy to counter the drop in testosterone us males will suffer this season through the stress. Edwell T says, I used to laugh during the Fleck Judge times, but now I just feel dead. These players are breaking me. I'm behind the manager. We can't keep resetting. Agreed with you, Edwell. Exactly. I've given up with the Judge thing as well. I've given up on a lot of things. I was pissed yesterday. Honestly, I was on podcasts and radio, and I was like, I need to mind what I say. I need to just, but at the same time, and I do, and you lot know this. I don't care the fact that we do things with the club, or I won't compromise on that. Yeah, sometimes the way I express myself with the club or without the club, I don't shout and swear and cuss individuals and say they're effing this. I'd never do that. It's not my style. But you have to call out what we're seeing. Onana deserves the criticism. Call it out. Bruno deserves the criticism. Rashford deserves the criticism. So I ain't compromising on them things. Red Manx TV says, morning, lads. When do you think our next win will be? Home form was so key for our success last season, but so far we look lost playing at Old Trafford. We do. Pressure's getting to us.
The weekend, Saturday. That's where the next win will be, Flex.
Yeah. Hopefully Saturday. Anyway, guys, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and thank you for getting us over the line for 155K subscribers, each and every one of you. Big up to you. You're a great community, and couldn't do it without you. So the road to 200K. That'd be amazing, isn't it? 200K. That'd be something special.
That means I have to go to another party.
Yeah, it does. 200K. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'll leave you with that. Anyway, guys, take care. See you soon. Peace. Bye.